Hey guys, Ashley here. Today I'm starting my reading vlog of The Way of Kings. So I've already actually started this book, but I didn't start my reading vlog yet. My bad. I thought it would be really fun to do a reading vlog for these. First of all, they're, huge, so there's plenty of content and stuff to talk about. Figured it would be kind of fun. I'm also planning on reading the series. So this is the first one, and there are 4 books total that have been published so far. And so I'm planning on reading one a month starting in January, so it should get me January through April. So I just thought it'd be really fun to do that, and I'm going to try to do, 1, maybe 2 videos, 2 reading vlogs per each book per month. So just kind of a fun little thing that I thought I would do. So today's January 6th, and yeah, so The Way of Kings. Good morning, everyone. Today is January 7th. It's a Thursday, so I am at work this morning. Last night I think I got to around 150 pages through The Way of Kings, which is like nothing. And I still feel like the story is being set up, like laying the groundwork kind of thing. We did get introduced to a new character in a different storyline, so it's kind of going back and forth between these two. The main story that we've been getting, I feel like with his story, it's not that I'm not interested, I just don't really see where the story's going, and I'm not invested in it yet, if that makes sense. So I'm going to hopefully pop in my headphones here and try to get some reading done while I'm working and see if I can get anywhere to where some stuff starts happening. Like I said, I'm not like uninterested, I'm not like bored reading it, I just haven't seen where the story's going yet. But with a book of this size, I imagine it probably takes a few hundred pages to really get into the story. So anyway, I will keep updating you guys as I can throughout today.
Who did much thought to that? She still didn't know how she'd manage it. But Yasna was known to have many enemies. There had to be a way to pin the Fabriel's breaking on them instead. That step would come later. For now, Shallan had to convince Yasna to accept her as a ward. All other results were unacceptable. Nervously, Shallan held her arms in the sign of need, covered safe hand bent across her chest, and touching the elbow of her free hand, which was raised with fingers outspread. A woman approached, wearing the well-starched white-laced shirt and black skirt that were the universal sign of a master servant. The stout woman curtsied. Brightness? The Palanaeum, Shallan said. The woman bowed and led Shallan farther into the depths of the long hallway. Most of the women here, servants included, wore their hair bound, and Shallan felt conspicuous with hers loose. The deep red color made her stand out even more. Soon the grand hallway began to slope down steeply, but when the half-hour arrived, she could still hear distant bells ring behind her. Perhaps that was why the people here liked them so much. Even in the depths of the conclave, one could hear the outside world. The servant led Shallan to a pair of grand steel doors. The servant bowed, and Shallan dismissed her with a nod. Shallan couldn't help but admire the beauty of the doors. Their exterior was carved in an intricate geometric pattern, with circles and lines and glyphs. It was some kind of chart, half on each door. There was no time to study the details, unfortunately, and she passed them by. Beyond the doors was a breathtakingly large room. The sides were of smooth rock, and they stretched high. The dim illumination made it impossible to tell just how high, but she saw flickers of distant light. Set into the wall were dozens of small balconies, much like the private box seats of a theater. Soft light shone from many of these. The only sounds were turning...
Hi everyone, today is January 9th, Saturday. I did read a little bit this morning while my husband was playing his game and before he went to go to work for a little while. And I'm up to like 240 pages now. Yeah, 240 pages. So we're starting to get, like, I'm at like 20%. So we're trying to, we're starting to kind of like get into it, I guess. Anyway, I got really tired earlier after I was like reading and following along, and that's why I just woke up from my nap. So yeah, so I'm just like, I'm still a little bit lost, like, or confused, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand what I'm reading. It's not necessarily that I don't understand, like, I just don't understand how everything connects and how this is all going to like come together. And I don't know. I don't even know how to like formulate my thoughts right now, but there's just like, there's definitely 2 main storylines that are happening right now. There's Kaladin's story, and then there's Shallan, her story. So, there's 2 like main points there, like storylines, but then you just get all these like other random like perspectives and stuff. Like there were these interludes. So there was like 3 interludes between part 1 and part 2. And 2 of them, one of them like we had met the person before, like in a very beginning chapter we had met this person. So I guess that one kind of made sense. I mean, we hadn't seen him in 200 pages, so I didn't really know why they brought him back up. And then one of them was Shallan's brother. So, like, there's a connection there, but I guess I just didn't really know why we were getting his part of the story. And then there was another one who was a person we've never met before. And my husband says that the interludes are really just a lot of story building or world building that don't really pertain to the story. So, I don't know. I was telling him about how I was, like, confused and I didn't really understand, like what I was reading. Like I said, every time I, like, go to a different, like, I don't know, section, like, chapter or interlude or whatever, I feel like I'm reading an entirely different freaking book. But anyway, so I think I'm gonna go take a little walk and try to wake up a little bit. I'm still kind of sleepy, but I only slept for, like, half an hour, which is weird for me. Like, usually when I take a nap, I'm out for, like, a long time. But anyway, so I think I'm gonna go try to wake up a little bit and then, probably start working on dinner. It's like 4 o'clock and I'm making a pork loin, or not a pork loin, it's a lamb loin. And it takes like an hour and a half to 2 hours to cook it, I think, depending on, I don't know how big it is, so I gotta look at that. But so I'm gonna do that, and then probably I'm gonna go ahead and do the prep work since I'm gonna have all this stuff out anyway. I think I'm gonna go ahead and prep for our, like, brisket, like, stew tomorrow. Just get everything, like, cut up and prepared and put in the crock pot, so all I have to do is put it on in the morning. So anyway, yeah, my husband just is working for a little bit today, so I'm just gonna go ahead and try to get some stuff done and pop my headphones in and try to figure out what's going on in this book. Okay, update time. I did not update yesterday on Sunday, but I did read for a little bit yesterday. Today's Monday, the 11th, and I'm actually on quarantine. I was exposed to COVID, so I am staying home this week and working from home, which is kind of minimal. There's not a whole lot that I can do. So anyway, I am listening to my audiobook. I am about to start chapter 22, so I'm about 395 pages in at the moment. My husband keeps looking at me and asking if it's getting any better, because I just keep saying, like, I don't, like, there's not anything happening. There's no story here yet. So anyway, I still kind of feel that way. It's getting a little bit better. Kind of picking up on a couple of different, like, sections. We haven't seen Shallan in a while. We've been focusing on Kaladin and now Dalinar and his sons. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm hoping that it gets a little bit, like, it's not boring. Like, I wouldn't say that I'm bored. I'm still interested in the story. I just don't know where the story is going. Like, what, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. But anyway, so hopefully I can listen to that this week and get some done, like, get somewhere in the story, get some reading done, and maybe find out what the hell is going on in this story. Hey everyone, today is Thursday, January 14th, and I'm here to update on the Way of Kings reading that I'm doing. I am about 50% through the book. This looks a little, like, uneven, but I'm also following along in the ebook. So I've just got, like, every version possible of this book that you could even, like, freaking have, basically. But I'm following along in the audiobook, and in the physical copy, this is my husband's physical copy, and I own the ebook copy of it. And so kind of just depending on what kind of mood I'm in and whether or not I want to, like, hold this fat book or if I want to hold my, like, Kindle, is kind of dependent on which, like, physical, like, copy that I'm reading. But anyway, so according to my ebook, I am 50% through the book right now. So I thought this would be a good place to kind of pause and do, like, a part 1 reading vlog, and then over the next couple weeks, as I finish the second half of the book, I will continue to record and I'll have a part 2 of the book, so of the reading vlog. So anyway, 50% through the book right now, and honestly, I have the same opinions that I've had the entire time. I feel like I'm just not feeling it, I guess. I'm not sure if this book is for me. I thought for a while there that it was just taking a while to set it up since it's such a big book. I'm like, okay, like, it makes sense. Like, it's going to take a few hundred pages for them to, like, set this up and everything, right? Except I still feel like halfway through the book, we're still kind of just setting it up. Like, I just don't really feel like there's a lot of exciting things happening. So the interludes are always just, like, kind of weird and confusing. I think that those are solely world building, except for Sazess. His interludes, they are telling a story. He's the only one that we see multiple times. All the other interludes are different people. So his is telling a story, but you don't get very much of it. We had his story in the beginning, and then we've had 2 interludes, like short interludes with him. And so anyway, then we're following Kaladin is like the main story that's happening. And his story is interesting, and I'm curious to see where it goes. Obviously, he's kind of like different, and he is going to be doing great things with his life at some point. But at this point, nothing's really happening. But basically, we're seeing how he is changing the way that he is running his like bridge crew or whatever. And so, I don't know. Then you have Shallan's story, and basically she's like up in this big city, and she is a ward for this princess. And anyway, so it's about like her studying, and essentially she wants to like steal something from this woman. And so anyway, I just feel like there's still not like a lot of excitement. I don't know. I guess I just thought that this was going to be like a really exciting book, and it's not. So what I'm starting to think is that maybe this book is instead of the first half of the book being like a setup for the rest of the book, I'm wondering if this book is more of a setup for the entire series. So I guess if you look at it in the grand scheme of, you know, so far there's 4 books. I think there's meant to be like 10 books that are all over 1,000 pages. It makes sense that maybe one of the books is going to just be a setup, I guess. I don't really know. My husband kept asking me, because I kept telling him, there's nothing happening. Like, there's nothing happening. I don't understand. And he's like, if you haven't like gotten excited about it at this point, you're not going to until like the very end when a bunch of stuff happens. And I'm like, okay, I mean, that's fine. So same thoughts that I've had pretty much this entire reading vlog. I'm not bored. I'm not uninterested. Obviously, I'm still reading the book at a pretty decent rate, I think. I mean, I don't really know. And so anyway, yeah, it's not that I don't like the book. I guess I'm confused about what it's doing still and where it's going, and I'm just waiting for the excitement. But so that's pretty much where I am, 50% through The Way of Kings, and I'm still a little bit confused. I'm doing a buddy read with this, so I've been kind of chatting with a couple of other people that are reading the book too, or have read the book, and they kept telling me kind of the same thing my husband told me. Oh, it's gonna get exciting, it's gonna get exciting. And I'm like, looking at all these people, I'm like, when does it get exciting? Because it's not. Anyway, so January 14th, we're halfway through the month, and I am halfway through The Way of Kings. Hi everyone, today is Monday, January 18th. So on Thursday, the 14th, I had hit 50% of the way through The Way of Kings, and had every intention of basically stopping at that point and releasing a reading vlog for the first half, and then doing a reading vlog for the second half in like a week after I finished it. Except for between Thursday night and Sunday night, I ended up finishing the book, but had not recorded any new content. So that makes it very hard to make a second video. It'd be like 2 minutes long or something like that. So I am going to do a quick wrap up and my final thoughts, rating and everything about The Way of Kings and what I thought about it. And yeah, that's my reading vlog. So anyway, I ended up rating the book 4 stars. I really struggled with the beginning of this book. Like the first 50 to 60% of the book was just slow for me. It was a lot of world building and kind of the characters' like backstories, which were interesting. Like, I wouldn't say that it was boring. It was just slow. I was waiting for the excitement and what's going to happen, and had questions that I wanted answered that weren't getting answered until later in the book. So after I hit somewhere around like 60-65% through the book, I ended up getting more invested. I was more entertained. I was more interested in where the story was going and what was happening. So it did hit that point where it got more exciting. And then, of course, in true Brandon Sanderson fashion, the last couple hundred pages were like insane. And you felt like every emotion possible and were just completely shocked at all the things that you learned and that were happening. And so anyway, I just could not let that beginning go, and the feelings that I felt toward it and how let down I felt. And that's basically why I rated it 4 stars. If the first half of the book would have been more, I don't know, a faster pace, more entertaining, I probably would have rated this book 5 stars. this is in no way, obviously, 4 stars is still a great rating. And in no way is this, going to keep me from reading the rest of the series. I still plan to continue over the next couple months reading these books, one a month. So I just hope that every book isn't the same, where you're just reading and reading and reading, and like there's not really anything exciting happening. Because that's, a 1,300 page book, that's a lot of reading to do, and to feel like you're not getting anywhere in the story. I don't know if that's just how these are set up, or if the other ones are going to be more exciting. Like maybe this was just a lot of like world building because it was the first book. I'm not really sure. These books get like insane ratings, like super, super high. I think this one has like a 4.67 rating on Goodreads right now, which is extremely high. And the series, basically, the other 3 books after that follow in the footsteps of this one with insane ratings. My husband raves about it. The people in my book club rave about it. So I'm a little bit in the minority with my thinking in the first half of this book. Most people were invested within a couple of chapters, where I was not. So I'm going to continue the series, and hopefully it just is more, attention grabbing in the next couple books. So anyway, that is the end of my reading vlog. Brandon Sanderson, The Way of Kings. Bye, y'all.